All right, this interview is pretty interesting. He's had a few interviews lately. He is Mosab. He is the son of one of the founders of Hamas. So this is the Hamas are the ones that are in Gaza right now, the ones that had perpetrated the acts on October 6th against Israel. The interesting thing about him is that he is a converted Christian. Seems like he's converted to Western values, and he was initially part of the Muslim community, but as you can see in his interview, he said that he didn't really like that anymore. He converted over. So just to let you know, just by converting, it is in many doctrines to say that he would have to be executed because he's considered to be worse than a regular Christian because he was a Muslim born and then converted. That's what makes him a lot worse in the eyes of those that are in the more radical part of the Muslim wing. So let's look at this interview, and I'll comment a little bit more.
Our next guest probably knows more about Hamas than anyone we have ever interviewed. The son of the co-founder of Hamas. Now, he has seen the barbaric group up close and personal, knows all too well about the evils of terror. Take a look at this.
Hamas does not serve the Palestinian people. Hamas serve Iran. Those are the masters of Hamas. So their lie about nationalism, that they are a national movement and they care for the Palestinian people, look at them. They are using Palestinian people as a human shield. We need to free Gaza from Hamas. This is what Israel is doing. It's doing the Palestinian people the greatest favor by bringing Hamas down.
Here now with more. Author of the bestseller, Son of Hamas, former informant for Israeli intelligence, Mosab Hassan Yousef. Sir, thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Your father was one of the co-founders of Hamas.
Correct.
Hamas has in their charter the destruction of Israel. What do you know? What do you know about Hamas that everybody should know?
Well, Hamas is not a political party. It's a religious movement that is waging a religious war. It's a holy war against the Jewish people. If Hamas was a political party, then we can apply pressure on them, bring them to the negotiating table where they can compromise. But Hamas as a religious organization, nobody can satisfy their religious ambition because it's a condition in their charter.
Why is this hatred for the Jewish people and Israel? What is this rooted in?
Okay, so you can see, just to stop here, Mosab is saying that they are not a political party. You can't negotiate with them. They have their mind set to something, and they're going to stick to it. There's no way that they're going to stop. They are going to take it to the bitter end. So that means, in a sense, that it's to the death, that they would have to be zero members in order for them to stop doing what they're doing. So that means going into Israel and eliminating all Jews from sea to sea. Palestine will be free. So it's not just about Palestinians being free, which would be the best for the Palestinians to actually be free and to live in harmony, but to actually wage a war indefinitely without any possibility of negotiation. So that's the issue of what we're dealing with here.
Well, now we can ask the question, why all this Jewish hatred in the United States and the rest of the world?
You mean anti-Semitism worldwide?
Anti-Semitism and hatred against the Jewish people. It doesn't matter what form it's
you grew up the son of one of the founders of Hamas. Why do they hate the Jewish people so much?
There is a religious dimension to that. There is ideological dimension. There is political dimension. There is cultural difference. You know, we're talking about Hamas, 7th century mentality, where Israel...
Yeah, but that's the thing here is with the hatred stems from the whole idea of something bad happened in the past. So for generation indefinitely, there will be a grudge against each other. It's me against you, and it's integrated in the culture. And there's no particular reason why other than the fact that this is carried on for so long, and that's what people know. People know the hatred and the division, the divisiveness between the two groups. So let's see what else they have to say about this.
Advanced 21st century. So the gap is very huge. Hamas represents chaos. This is where they thrive. Israel represents order, democracy. Hence, those are the two opposite extremes that have been clashing.
Well, let me ask you this. You just saw a group of people being interviewed by Sarah Carter. They don't know anything about Hamas. They can't say the words Hamas is a terrorist organization. Why are so many people so ignorant of what the truth is? Because I'm sure if Hamas could find you, they would kill you, would they not?
Well, they wouldn't hesitate, but I'm not the only one on Hamas target list. And these people live in denial, basically. They don't know what Palestine is. And what I say, today as an American, I invite all these people to educate themselves first. And we cannot lose sight because Hamas started this war. What we need to do, we need to remove Hamas from power. If Hamas stays in power, there will be more Gaza wars.
But you got Hamas, you got Hezbollah, you got Shia, you got Sunni, you got Syria, you've got
So we need to
Houthi
make an
rebels.
example for all Islamists around the world and for all extremists, savages, that if they attempt to destroy any democracy, not only Israel, any democratic model, that we will stand united and we will fight them together instead of being divided like this.
It seems, regardless of Sunni or Shia, that Iran is, we are told they were actively involved in the plotting, the planning, and the killing that happened on October the 7th. It would be the equivalent, if you base it on our population versus Israel, of losing 38,000 Americans in a day. We lost 2,977 on 9/11. And so is this a belief system? Is this convert or die? Is this ISIS-like, that either the world converts to Islam or their version of Islam, radical Islam, or they get killed, they're infidels?
Well, there is the Islamic ideology that inspires them, Hassan al-Banna teachings and
Radical
intellect.
Islamic ideology.
That's one. Then there is tribalism, which is 7th century mentality, where a tribe used to fight a tribe for 100 years until they get annihilated or they annihilate the tribe. So this is what Hamas is saying. It's the Arabian mentality that...
Yes, that's a good point, what he brings up there, because what's going on is it's old mentality. It's not based on a new democratic mentality of, okay, you have to facilitate a means of getting along with other people, your neighbors, right? You got a fence, you have some respect for each other's boundaries, but it's not about that. It's a matter of what he said, 7th century mentality in which the other tribe has to be destroyed. Of course, tribalism has a different connotation when we talk about it. It can also be construed as racism, tribalism. But racism is more of a sense of another race being inferior. But I suppose it would be, in this case, a kind of racism because in the charter, genocide is what's being promoted. It's in the Hamas charter. And if you know the Palestinian people, how many people are being killed in this Gaza war, it's unfathomable. It's horrible because Hamas is using civilians as basically guards, bodyguards, or body fodder. They just keep them there. They don't allow them to go south to get away from all of this bloodshed. And what number can you put on this? Why wouldn't there be a ceasefire? And the ceasefire, it's hard to do because the terrorists are within the civilian population. This is horrible because every Palestinian child that's being killed, it's something that Israelis should feel bad about. It's something that they need. It's a very tough thing than what the Israeli soldiers and generals are doing right now because, yes, they have a right to defend themselves, but when they're going over here and eliminating these targets, military targets, they're eliminating children as well. And this is something that really comes down to one answer. Hamas needs to get out of the way if they care about their own people and not worship on the worship death being a saint or a god or something like that. It's not about that. It's a matter of helping your people, and they really need to do that. And I think it's really great Mosab is standing up for his people. He's one of the few Muslims, and as he said, there are other people on his list, and that's why you don't hear a lot of people speaking out. If they speak out against Hamas, they'll try to find out where you live. It's kind of like other groups, other gangs, or the cartel. If you speak ill of them and you're in a certain place, they'll eliminate you or your entire family. That's unfortunately that's what it is, but people have to have the bravery to stand up against these kind of atrocities. Let's see more of what Mosab has to say.
They view Israel as a tribe. They want to keep trying until they annihilate Israel or get annihilated in the process.
Well, you see this anti-Semitism. It's all over Europe. It's all over the world. It's in our colleges. It's in the halls of Congress. Why do you think that somehow so many have been indoctrinated into a belief system that somehow thinks Israel is the problem when the war was started by the terrorists? The war was brought to innocent people. Innocent people were killed this day. Since when do we blame victims? Why are so many people that Sarah speaks to so ignorant of who these people are, what they're...
Okay, that's really important to distinguish. Of course, people would say that Israel's the oppressor. They're the ones that had started this. And of course, historically, we can say, hey, both sides have done things to each other, but it shouldn't be a historical argument. It should be a matter of now. What is the value of life now? And I think it's too much to be thinking about the past. It's a matter of thinking about the future and how peace can be achieved. And the way the peace can be achieved is through negotiating. It is making sure there is a certain two-state solution in which Palestinians have their own country and that Israel doesn't have to worry about them anymore. However, ever since Hamas has taken power with their charter saying they're going to eliminate them, I mean, that is an issue, right? We have Hezbollah and we have those in power at Iran. This is a big problem. If those extremist groups are out of the way and democracy can be promoted, then that's really what's going to be important here. Because Iran used to be a bigger democracy, but now they are dictatorial, and the people in Iran, I mean, they're great people, but they're being enslaved under their very oppressive regime, and that's not really what they want. I'm sure what the people want, but they're afraid to stand up against anything, and that's how it is in the Muslim world. There's a lot of fear to stand up for what they believe are the true things that are going to be helping the Muslim people.
Their goals are.
Yeah, they don't have the power to just condemn Hamas as a terrorist group.
They don't have the power. They don't have the knowledge. Are they ignorant?
And can be in denial because they just want to project whatever they want.
What made you get away from your family?
You know, this is a long journey. I did not leave Hamas yesterday. It has been
a while.
25 years since I decided that this is a dangerous movement and we have to fight against it.
And if they knew where you were on any given day, you'd be a dead man.
It doesn't matter. I'm not scared of Hamas.
I'm not asking if you're scared, but if they knew where to find you, they would kill you.
They won't hesitate.
Not at all.
They won't hesitate.
Son of Hamas. It's a best-selling book, and you wrote it years ago. Thank you.
I wish this interview went on a little bit longer, but I think this is great. A great example of how those in the Muslim community, even though he isn't a Muslim anymore, I mean, some people would kind of think of Muslim as being almost like an ethnicity. But what's important is having strong people in the community speaking for the best interest of those and the children. So more than 4,000 Palestinian children killed. Israeli children have been killed. This has got to stop. And you can't put a number value on how many children need to die in order for this arrogance of Hamas to continue. And yeah, that's it for this video. But be sure to like and subscribe. I have more commentary to come. Thank you.